Okay, so it's Boxing Day and I'm back in the workshop. I want to show, or I want to try and demonstrate my circle jig that I've made, just using some scrap wood. This is an old piece of MDF, and I think that's even a little bit of ply on the bottom there for the runner. Nothing special, so hopefully I can show you how it works. So what I've done, I've got a runner on the bottom there, like I say, and I've waxed the bottom of that to try and give it a bit of a smoother run. And then this edge runs along the table saw blade. The reason I use a table saw is because I don't have a scroll saw, and I find that I can't get a perfect circle with a jigsaw, and I also I find that on the band saw the blade tends to drift a bit sometimes. So for me personally, I've found this is the easiest way to do it. So the idea is that this runner sits in the table saw. This edge goes to the blade. These measurements, you can see I've gone from 3 inches up until 11 inches. That's the distance from the blade. So whatever distance it is from the blade, obviously that's going to be your radius of the circle. So it's going to be, double it, and that'll be the size of the circle. So if you wanted a 16-inch circle, you'd do it at 8 inches. What I've done, I've transferred those measurements on the back as well, so you can see from the back, and those holes are just drilled and ever so slightly countersunk. And then I've got a nail, and all I do is I put it in the hole that I want to make the circle for. The nail comes through. You can see I've got a piece of wood. I've already glued this up, so this is a number of boards that I've kind of glued up and cut into a rough square. I've picked a point roughly in the centre, but it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's in the centre of the size of circle that you want. And I've drilled a hole, so now I'll put this on the actual jig itself, which isn't always easy, but let's see what we can do. There you go. So now you can see that nail's through there, and it's sitting on the jig, which allows it to spin around. So I now put that in the runner, so it should move back and forth nicely. And then I bring my table saw up, just enough so that the blade is just above the wood there. Okay, so obviously it's going to get pretty noisy when I switch it on. The idea is that I'm going to cut the corners off of this board that overhang the edge of the jig. And in theory, once you've done the 4 corners, then you'll do the next 4 corners, so on and so forth, and the corners get shallower and shallower and shallower until eventually you've got a circle. But let's see how it goes. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come down. So all I'm going to do is continue taking off each of these edges. Okay, once you get it down to this sort of point, what you can do is you can start moving it up towards the blade, and just very slowly, just turning it into the blade as you pass it through, so it starts to really shave it down fine. There you go, one circle, and for me that's better than any circle that I could cut on a bandsaw or with a jigsaw or anything like that. And then all I'll do now is give it a sand down. I can route that edge off, I can do whatever I want with it, but there you go, one circle on the table saw. And again, there's a reusable jig, so you can just push the nail out, make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. And if you used a bigger piece of scrap, because it comes off of the side of the runner, whatever you want the circle to be, just make sure you measure that. So 11 inches is the biggest one on here. That would make a 22 inch circle. Thanks for watching. Oh, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Cheers, thanks.